NorCal. 209 King of Comedy. It's Rick without the K. James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
So on this one, the question I got is, it's a little bit vulgar question, but to me it's a good one. When you have we've all had those relationships where we've had really good sex. We've also had those relationships where we've had really bad sex. And a relationship where there's been a really good relationship and a really poor relationship. If you had a choice, would you rather have bad sex, good relationship, or good sex, bad relationship? I'm going to start with you.
Ronnie, did you write this to get me in trouble? And I want to say we've talked about it in some form or fashion on a past episode this way. And I wanted to say where I said sex was way more important.
Right.
Now that we've hung around, now that my life is situated and where it's at, I'm not sure if sex is that important to me. So I've had people in my past where sex was fucking the shit, but nothing else in that relationship was worth having. I have someone who gives a shit about me now, and sex is secondary in our relationship. And I want to say that, maybe I'm starting to feel like a fucking old man, and I would rather have a better partner than a better sex life, man. Sex is wonderful, but when you're doing the math behind it, an hour and a half of great sex versus a shitty-ass partner the rest of the week, man, that's why there's porn, I guess. So I'll fucking take a better partner over sex life any day right now.
And I'm going to tell you, a year ago, you would not have answered that way. You've changed a lot in the last couple of years.
Last couple of months, shit. I told you, it's all about growth.
It's all about growth.
So is that a weird question for
I don't think it's a weird
you've had
question.
the same partner for...
I have had the same partner for a very long time, since I was 19. But I think that they're both important, but I would personally rather have a good partner than over sex, because there's lots of toys and stuff out there, and you can still have good sex. And if you have a good partner, and it's really going well, then you can tell them, hey, let's up the ante on this in the bed. Let's do something different a little bit. You know what I mean? Because then you have a good relationship. We could talk about it.
How do you have that conversation with them though? How do you hey, can we change shit up? Or you've been in a relationship, and I don't want to get you in trouble because your man's in the room. But you guys have done everything. I'm assuming at this point that you can do. So how do you keep that shit new? How do you have that conversation?
I think that.
And are you afraid of hurting their feelings?
When you've been with someone with so long, and because James wants to know what I want, right? Because it makes him happy, right? Isn't that how guys work?
But there's also something about knowing.
Right?
There's also something about knowing the comfortableness too,
right?
right?
After being with someone so long, you're very comfortable.
You know what he needs. He knows what you need.
And in the beginning, it might be a little bit hard, but I think that if you do bring it up, you have to be gentle with the conversation and just, and see how open the person is. But I think it's a topic that people don't like to talk about, especially in the beginning of a relationship. But it's definitely something that you should talk about, because it's going to be something, if you're going to be with a partner and you're going to be with them forever, then you might as well start talking about it in the beginning so it continues on towards the end.
Since we said the beginning.
So for me, I had a relationship that was quite a long relationship, where the sex was just
say mediocre.
I won't even say. What'd you say?
Mediocre.
Mediocre.
Mediocre at best. And but it's not that it wasn't really good or anything. It's just that we didn't seem to have any passion, and we didn't hook up as because I remember thinking, man, how have I had good sex with other people, but this person is just it's okay, And it was really weird. We just never seemed to. But the relationship was freaking great. It was great. It was a great relationship. We got along good. We loved each other, took care of each other, everything, respect, everything. And now I'm in a relationship where, as an old man, I found someone who lights my fire again. And so the sex is great, but the other part of the relationship is really having to work on it. I'm not trying to be mean or say anything. She's a Latina. And we come from two different worlds, the way we talk about things, the way, it's so funny to hear, you walk into our house and on one side of the house you might hear a radio playing, you know, Hank Williams Jr. yodeling, and on the other side of the house you're going to hear, I mean, that's just, I mean, how it is. It's so weird. And working on the relationship is so hard right now because there's so many aspects that we don't meet.
So you're saying your sex life is better than your relationship?
The sex life's
Without
carrying
saying
it right now, yeah. But I mean, that's why I brought the question up, because it just made me funny. It made me laugh because I was teasing you the one time.
I mean, what did you tell me last night?
And please, honey, this is not the truth. I'm joking. But the sex being good enough to keep you around till you can develop the relationship part, you know?
Now, last night you told me, you go, hey man, when I was younger, I knew that pussy ruled my world.
Oh, yeah.
No,
You want me to say this? So I remember laughing. I was thinking about this about 3 days ago. And I remember I was about 18 to 22 when I realized that pussy could make me a good person, an angry person. It would make me lie. It would make me all, you know, to get to it, I'd lie to a woman. I'd, you know, throw a friend under the bus. I'd do whatever it was because it kind of ruled my life. Yeah, it was like whatever it took to get to the booty, I was going to try to get to that. And I remember thinking, you know, as I got older, oh man, this is great. Things are going to calm down and shit. And I turned 54 in the end of this month. And pussy still rules my life. It's still maybe the most important thing to me.
You know, maybe it will be forever.
But I mean, you know, I love having a great woman. I treat her with respect and all that stuff. But I didn't think at 54 years old I would still could get my head snapped off from this. I didn't think that it still would be this important to me to where, you know, like, you go through hell for it, or you know, I mean, I think about some of the stuff you would do to have a good partner. You know, it's like, I'm glad to feel this way again because I haven't felt this way in quite a while.
But you're saying it scares the fuck out of you because you might lose a house over it.
It scares the hell out of me that it's still this important to me. It's like, you know, I mean, you guys have been together for 25 years, so obviously 28, excuse me. So obviously you've got the best of both worlds. You've been able to make it this long. You know, and that's what you're looking for, is you're looking for a relationship where not only are we, you know, compatible physically, but we're compatible mentally and all that other stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, but you have to be, in the beginning of a relationship, you have to be sexually desired to the person, right?
Yeah, you do. I think so.
I was going to ask you, right, because I know you and your husband, and I know your husband's done long haul driving because he's a truck driver. Do you think that helps with the sex life though too? Because there goes periods. Because we were talking about it, me and Ronnie, where his girl, he goes, I think it works best if I only see her every so often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you have time to miss each other, right? And then. Do you think that would help the sex life, or?
I mean, I think so. I think that, you know, being up under one another all the time, unless you're in a new relationship, isn't really gonna work, because then you get fed up with that person. You know, you're just like, okay, I've seen you, but sometimes it's not like when you've been in a relationship for as long as we have. It's not about like the sex, right? It's about like what's keeping us together. If we're not gonna have sex because, you know, he's pissed me off or something, and I'm like, fuck it, because that's kind of how it could be. It doesn't mean that we're going to break up now, you know what I mean? Right. It's like we have a bigger connection than
but
that.
You know that now. In the beginning, when you're first dating, you don't know that. You have that fight, and you think, holy shit, are we going to break up over this?
That's right.
Well, now you just know, we're going to be pissed off, throw a pan, and then we're done.
Yeah, I think that the distance definitely can help in a situation. I mean, but just going to work for 10 hours and coming back could help too, because, you know what I mean? You miss your partner after 10 hours.
And another thing I was adding about the time, where you talk about where I said missing her, it's not just that, but my body needs that now. I'm not like an 18-year-old kid that needs sex every night. So I can go 5 days, 7 days without sex and be okay, where, you know, when I was younger, it's like,
every day.
You need to come over tonight, honey. I ain't seen you in 3 hours. You know, jokingly. But you know, at my age now, that's not what I need anymore. I don't need a woman that wants to go every night because I can't physically do it.
Boy, Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Please hit the subscribe button down low so you can see all new clips, all new episodes coming to you.